Somebody's at the door by Vorkrikri. It was after midnight when I went to bed last night, July 22, 2015, not long after I heard a rapping on my apartment door. I got up and called through the locked door. "Who is it?" Silence. Another knock. "Who is it?" I called out louder. No way am I just opening the door, so I drag over the step stool. Lost for a While by Joey23. My story happened last 2003 in my grandparents' house. Every weekend we always stayed in our grandparents' house to spend the quality time with them and with my other relatives. Until something weird happened to me. After we eat our lunch, me and cousins went to the second floor of the house to watch the Spencer's Gifts light by the cool bus. I've had paranormal experiences throughout my whole life, but this one really stands out for me. If you have ever been to the mall and you've gone to that store Spencer's, at the back of the store they have all the crazy lights and lava lamps. Well, I happened to buy this lightning plasma lamp My Son's Real Father by Diamond Donnie. I had this boyfriend named Isaiah in high school, and he was the greatest guy I could ask for. He was a year older than me and we'd been dating all through his senior year. He went into the army right after he graduated though, and he was sent to Maryland for basic training, and we didn't know where. Talking While I Sleep by MDV. If you haven't read my first story, I should explain first. Everything that is happening to me first happened to my mother. I started noticing it at 14, just the little things, footsteps up the stairs or sounding like a child walking behind me. Soon I started to feel someone tug on my pants leg. Our Protector by Joey23. This story happened when I'm still 2 years old. This story is about the White Dwarf, Gwend, in our old house in Bicol. My parents are both working, so me and my older sister and brother, Aitan Kia, was left in the house with our nanny, Yay. But our nanny keeps on hurting my siblings when our mother experiences by MDV. Fist off. Yes, I believe in ghosts, but at the same time I do make sure nothing else is the cause of it. That is why I am so confused. You see, my family and I have lived in the same house for 12 years. I remember the first night we stayed in it, I constantly felt like I was being watched. Something's up by Braze. In the last few weeks I have had odd things happening to me around my home. They have been enough to get my attention and creep me out, and now one of my coworkers came to inform me weird things are happening at my cubicle. This morning I come into work, set my things down and got my computer on. IOU by Snowbird. Last year I lost my boyfriend in a car accident. He had been out of town for the weekend, at a conference, and he was coming home through the countryside when it happened. It was raining and somehow he lost control and the car flipped. It was late at night when I got the phone call. I don't rem. Goodnight Grandma by of 6530. In my great-grandma's old age she didn't like kids very much. She wasn't always nice to the grandkids or the great-grandkids. Except me. I looked exactly like her and her daughter, so from what my mom tells me I was always her favorite. I don't remember much of her. She passed in her sleep when I was. Farewell from Grandpa by Annie16. I am new to the site. I have had 4 distinctly different experiences, but the following story was the first. My ex-husband's grandfather lived in Melville, Johannesburg, and in 1987 he became very ill. My mother-in-law decided to take him to live with them in Vereeniging, approx. 70 kilometers from Johan. 306 aim by Ladon Kinks. Right, so I've just signed up to this site, and makes me incredibly relieved to find out that there are other people out there who experience similar aspects in my paranormal experience. This happens once in a while in my life, and it's when I travel to the UK. My mum has got some experience. Dream House by Mitchell74. My name is blank, and this is my story. I call it the Dream House. 10 years ago my family and I moved into a rather large home. We considered it a mini mansion, if you will, with 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. Through the red door you entered into a large elegant foyer with a glass. A Little Girl by Joey23. This happened last 2012 in Lawton, Manila. Me and classmates stay together in a boarding house. Since the house is already old, we already expected that something creepy will happen. And it really happened. One night, when my classmates already sleeping, I suddenly feel a very strange temperature. Two hooded men by my bed by cinnamon. My experience took place in 2014 in Adelaide, Australia. I am a very level-headed 39-year-old female who has experienced several paranormal activities over the years, and the most disturbing is as follows. I arrived home at approximately 9 p.m. and, unusual for me, I was extremely tired after long. My cat, Fifi by Mac_Barbie93. On 16th July 2015, at 9:21 a.m., I lost my 19-year-old cat, Fifi, to multiple organ failure due to old age. He was my best friend and companion since I was 3 years old. His previous owners abandoned him, and my dad took him in when he was probably a year old. He came to us when he was fully grown, so I... Living Soul? By Shiz98. 2 years ago during winter breaks, I and my sister used to have fun gossiping, playing and downloading movies until late night. We used to sleep together and wake up very late in morning. My sister is habitual sleeping after 3 in morning and waking up at 11. One day I felt very sleepy and decided to saw it dead by Akshay. Even today, when I think of that night, I still get goosebumps. I'll never forget that night. I was 14 years old then, living with my parents in a city named Noida. One day when I came home, my brother told me that a girl died last night in the house alongside ours. He said, she hung herself. My father after his death by Shilva. All of this started with my father's death. My father was 71-year-old when he left us, and he was a heart patient for a few years. My father was a very calm and quiet gentleman, and he had nothing against the world and had zero enemies. No matter how good he was to the world, my mother was never in. Tell us your ghost stories or dark experience with demons, angels, death,